Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be building this fantasy-esque style bookstore. It's a really interesting build and it's in a style that's really not popular around the rest of the Minecraft gaming community. So to give it a quick tour here, it's really just like an open store at the bottom here, kind of something that really fits well into like a bazaar type of build. And you can also go upstairs to find more storage, but you could also use this space for like a house in a survival playthrough as well. It looks fairly complicated, but it's really not. It's a style that I really enjoy. It's a style that we kind of developed when I was on a professional build team on a Minecraft server a while ago. And since I've never really seen this style used before in any other Minecraft tutorials or anything, I decided to go ahead and just do a quick tutorial on this type of style here. So to start, we're going to go to an open space. We're going to put down a bone block here. We're going to go 3 spaces, another bone block, 3 spaces, another bone block. And so we're going to have like two spaces here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing on this side, except instead of going for 2, we're going to go for 3. And then we're just going to fill this in here. Next we're going to start building this up a little bit. We're going to go up 4 blocks. Oh, and I missed these 2 here. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and birch stairs along the top block of the bone pillars here. Right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 4 more bone blocks on top of all of these. And boom. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and start doing a little bit more of our framing. We're going to bring a bone blocks through the sides here, all the way across. And we're going to do that for all of our edges here. Now, if you wanted to switch this build up a little bit, instead of having it all, the entire bottom floor open, you could just go ahead and add some walls and just leave, you know, maybe only this part right here open. But that's really up to you. But I kind of like having the fully open kind of store. What I like about having like the open store is that it really fits well into like a market type of build. And you don't really see a lot of houses that do that very well, but this open concept nails it. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our large sides here. We're going to go up 3 blocks. And we're going to go up 2. We're going to go up 1 at the right here. And then we're going to go up 2 more here. Cool stuff. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this pillar up and just kind of extend it all the way to the top. And then bring the sides around like this. Perfect. Next we're going to do the same exact thing for the other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1. 1, 2. Fill in this space here. And we're doing pretty good so far. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our little roofing outcroppings to the build. So to do that, we're going to go up 2 blocks, and then another 2 blocks. We're also going to do that to this side as well. Up 2, up 2. Perfect. Next thing I like just to go ahead and do is I would like to finish this bottom part here and go ahead and put in some smooth quartz stairs on the sides of the house here. Now the 2 whites blend together pretty well and you can't really tell them apart, but there is a slight difference there, but it's really not that noticeable, I don't think. And you really like to add a little bit more shape to this doorway here. Perfect. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and grab some white terracotta, and I'm going to start filling in our walls a little bit. So the first wall here is going to fill up normally. I'm going to do the exact same thing here. And we're just going to go do that for the entirety of the house. Really nothing too fancy here. Now, note if you are playing in survival, you do want to put like a torch or solid blocks here, or otherwise you're going to get like mobs spawning in your house, and that's always really annoying. But since I'm in creative and I'm out peaceful, I'm not really going to worry about it too much. Now we are going to eventually add windows to these walls. I just like to go ahead and fill it in and just start viewing the house more as an open canvas, and then start adding details a little bit later. That's kind of how my build process works. Okay, and that is good. Next we're going to go ahead and start filling in our roof. So this is a very interesting style of roof here. It's not really like unique in the shape too much, but it does use purple terracotta and magenta terracotta. And basically the way you want to look at this roof is that you basically want to outline the first layer, if that makes sense, with purple terracotta, and then put magenta on the interior. So it looks like you have a little bit of a variety in the color of your roofing. And of course that's being said with the purple on the exterior and the magenta on the interior. And in these little spaces here, I like to just go ahead and throw an extra little purple terracotta right there just to add a little bit of depth. First thing we're going to do is we're really just going to go to our edges, or what our like tall pointy roofs here, and just do them first. Once you do like the taller roofs, it kind of makes the entire rest of the build easier once you start filling it in. I forgot to add one block there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this purple part out right here, so that we basically have a little bit more depth on this side. Next we're going to fill this part in with magenta. And now once we've done that, we're just going to go ahead and start kind of pulling our roof from the big pointy part all the way to this edge right here. And when you're doing things like this, just kind of go with your gut until you find like the perfect fit. It doesn't have to be the way I'm doing it. You just really want to make sure that you nail your roofs. It's already looking pretty good. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and start working on this side. Basically, we're going to pull out the big side until it hits another part of the roof, like so. And now we're just basically pulling the rest of the roof across. And I like to go ahead and add purple terracotta to the top layer here as well. You know, just add a little bit more variety. Now the only real problem I have with this style is that it's really hard to put details in the roof because there's no like terracotta slabs or terracotta stairs. So that part of it makes it a little bit more difficult to build, and that's why I kind of like change the height of how many blocks I go up on the roof just to add a little bit of shape to it. Okay, let's go down here, this, then add our little roof interior. Now the last thing I like to do on the roof is that for with these little outcroppings here, I like to take my purple terracotta and kind of continue the dark purple all the way up until the top of the roof. Now the reason I do that is just to add a little bit of variety in the roof so it's not all just magenta. And little details like this can really make a build pop a lot more. Now there is a good amount of empty space on like this part of the roof that I'm pointing at, but it's really not that bad. I think it's fine. But next thing here is we're going to go ahead and take our birch slabs and we're going to go ahead and add this little archway to all of our doors here, just so that we have a little bit more of a transition between the bone blocks and the white terracotta here. And we're going to do that for all of our edges all the way across the house. And perfect. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and fill in the top part of the roof here, or these top parts of the walls here with our white terracotta again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab some smooth quartz slabs. And we're going to go ahead and add 2 windows on this side. And I like to use magenta stained glass. I'll put 2 birch stairs across. And for these big walls, what I like to do is I like to basically take smooth quartz and bring it downwards like so. And smooth quartz goes really well with the bone blocks that we've been using for the frame. And we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. Birch, birch. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and add just these 2 slabs here. And just basically add a little bit more character to the top part of the roof here. You could put windows, but you don't really have to either. And that this works just fine. Okay, and good. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and add some windows to these 2 walls right here. That's where I messed up. Okay. So we're going to go put windows here and here. Gentle. We're going to add some birch fences here. Then we're going to add a smooth quartz slab and put stairs like so, and make a little bit more variety in our roofing design. Next thing we like to do here is I like to go ahead and get a plant somewhere in here. So I found that this is the best spot for doing that. I'll basically delete this piece of birch here. I'll grab a trap door, lock it, and then put a peony on top of that. I think the peony flower really goes well with this kind of build because it's also a little bit kind of purpley and colorful as well. And then I'll just leave that like that. Next, I don't like to put a window on this wall since we have 2 windows here. So what I like to do is I just like to basically continue the fence up and then just use smooth quartz slabs to finish that shape off like that and connect it with the bone blocks. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So birch fences there, smooth quartz there. We're going to go ahead and put another peony on this piece of grass here. Don't forget to put in the windows like I did. Grab a trap door. Put 2 fences, a slab, and stairs. Perfect. So now that really kind of finishes the exterior of the house. If you really want, you can put like a chimney or something on this part right here, just to add a little bit more character. But you don't have to. In fact, I'm just going to leave it personally. Next thing I like to do is, I like to go ahead and fill in the floor here. And I found that bricks work best as like the flooring material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for time's sake, just do this with World Edit. The command, if you're curious, is just to cut with bricks. And like that, it's done. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and do the bottom part of the build. And you basically want to go ahead, grab different types of book blocks, because I like to go ahead and make this like a book sort of store, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like a animal store or just really anything you can come up with. So the first thing is we need kind of like a kiosk station where customers will take their things when they want to buy them. So what I like to do with that is I like to just take some birch slabs and just bring them across one of like a third of the building, like so. I take 3 of these blocks out here and put lecterns kind of facing the person. Then I like to put books on them, like so that he can view like a book that's available. Put a little bit of a fence gate here. Put like a soul lantern right here so that the customer can still interface with the shop manager right here. And I forgot to grab item frames. Now what I also like to do on these sides here is I like to add item frames with different kinds of books in them as like a kind of another kind of display here. You don't have to do it around all of them, but I like to do it on this side here. So I'll put a variety of like enchanted books and written books here. So it kind of acts like a display case. And furthermore, you can also like put books on the slabs themselves. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and fill in the roof. And I like to use spruce with this. So we're just going to go up to where the windows are. Basically just extend spruce across. Perfect. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to take some bone blocks up like so. We're going to grab some slabs. I like to use smooth quartz here. And we're going to create a little spiraling staircase. There's nothing really to this. You just basically put a slab higher each time you go around. And like so, we have a good way to get up between the levels. Now we're just going to put in some random piles of bookshelves all around. There's no real key to doing this. Just basically spam things until it looks good is like how I like to think about it. You can also put some books on the outside of the market here. But that's really up to you. I also like to put in 1 or 2 lecterns here with an open book. And like that, we're starting to see a successful house here. Now we also want to put some lanterns for light. And last thing I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and grab some more quartz, some more stairs. I like to use smooth quartz just because that's what we've been using. And you can just kind of add to the columns here. This provides a little bit more structural soundness to the entire build. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start focusing on the interior here. So first thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and add a little bit of character to it. Basically, I'm just going to take some bone blocks all the way up and kind of build a roof around them. 1, 2, 3. Next thing we need to get a little bit of light in here. So I'd like to grab some smooth quartz again. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down one. I should have the exact same problem over here. Okay. What did I do? Oh, that's why. Now that little problem I just saw was just because we have different parts of the roof over here and over here. But it can be rectified pretty quickly. I like to also add lanterns to these top edges here for a little bit of light. Don't really need to do that, but it does help in my opinion. Yeah. We're basically going to go take the smooth quartz, as I said. We're going to go across this top beam, put one block down, and then put a lantern. Now you can put it on a chain as well, which I think I'm actually going to do. But again, that's not a strong requirement. And perfect. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start filling in this wall here. And basically just kind of adding smooth clay to all the points where it kind of looks like it's not as detailed. Just so that we have a more defined interior space that we can work with. I'm going to leave that little 3-block space open there. Now you could turn this part of the build into like a little house or something, but I like to go ahead and make it like book storage, because this is like a store underneath. So to do that, first thing I like to do is we'll go over here, build like so. Basically put piles of books here. There's really no way to do this. I just basically like to put a shape of bookshelves and kind of build around that. Then I'll put a little top layer on that. And you can't really put anything there, so I'll just put some bookshelves here. Put some piles of books in the middle to break up the space. And just something like that just adds a little bit of detail. In fact, we'll even throw a lantern right here. And just like that, we have a pretty cool looking fantasy store in a style that's really not used too broadly. And I think it really just turns out really well. And one more thing that I like to do here that I kind of forgot is I like to add these kind of like weather vane looking things on the top. So I'll put one here, one here, one here. And the way to do them, of course, is to just basically build 3 fences up and build 4 spaces around them. And I am using nether brick fence. But just something like this adds a little bit more detail on kind of a what I'd consider kind of a barren roof, because it doesn't really have as much detail as you'd see in some other fantasy styles. But this again is a very easy build. It does take a little bit of time just because of the size of it, but I think it really looks nice. I really like the way it always turns out. And there's really not that much to it, so thank you guys for tuning into my channel and watching the video. I really appreciate all the support I get, and if there's anything you think I can improve upon in the way I do my videos, please let me know. As I've said before, I'm very open to criticism, and I'm very new at this whole process. And I'm just trying to make content that everyone enjoys. But with that being said, I'd like to go ahead and thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.